If you're over 50 and you feel like your body just doesn't bounce back the way it used to, stop for a moment. Because what the latest research is suggesting is not what most people were taught about aging. Many adults believe that after 50, the body simply slows down in a permanent way. Metabolism drops, recovery becomes weaker, and energy slowly fades no matter what you do. But that belief is only half the story. Here's what science is increasingly showing in studies from major universities and long-term metabolic research. Your body doesn't break with age. It shifts into a more conservative survival mode. That means systems related to repair, energy use, and regeneration become less active. Not gone, just quieter. And that distinction changes everything. Because if something is switched down instead of destroyed, it may be possible to reactivate parts of it through simple daily signals like movement, food timing, temperature exposure, and metabolic stress. Here at Gold After 50, we've gone deep into the research, and today I'm going to show you 5 science-linked habits that appear to support your body's natural repair systems, including the same systems associated with cellular renewal, metabolic flexibility, and fat-burning efficiency. No extreme routines, no supplements being pushed, and no miracle claims, just biology, explained clearly. And if you stay until the end, you'll understand how one simple daily pattern may help your body shift into a deeper repair state overnight. Something most people completely overlook because it feels too simple to matter. But first, you need to understand what's actually changing inside your body after 50. Think of your body like a massive city with millions of repair workers. When you're younger, that city runs with constant activity. Broken systems get fixed quickly, energy is distributed efficiently, and cleanup crews are always active. But over time, the city doesn't lose its workers. It just becomes more cautious with energy. It stops sending repair crews as often unless it absolutely needs to. That means small issues start to build up. Slower recovery, more stiffness, less metabolic flexibility, and reduced efficiency in how your body uses stored energy. And this is where the research gets interesting, because scientists studying metabolism, inflammation, and cellular signaling have found that certain stress signals, when applied correctly, may encourage the body to re-engage those dormant maintenance systems. Not through force, but through signals your biology already understands. Cold exposure, fasting windows, plant compounds, fiber fermentation in the gut, these are not trends. They are biological inputs that interact with deep survival pathways your body still uses. So instead of trying to fix aging, what we're really looking at is how to communicate with your body so it remembers how to manage energy and repair more efficiently again. And over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 of the most supported practical methods linked to that process. We'll start with something surprisingly simple, but powerful enough that researchers have measured changes in stress hormones and metabolic activity within minutes. Cold exposure. When your body is exposed to cold water, even briefly, it triggers a rapid nervous system response. Studies from leading physiology journals show a significant release of norepinephrine, a chemical messenger involved in alertness, circulation, and energy regulation. Footage. Older adult shower cold water, icy shower close-up, breath reaction cold exposure. In plain terms, this is your body switching from rest mode into a high alert state where it prioritizes heat production and energy burning. And here's the interesting part. That same shift has been associated in research with increased activity in brown fat, a special type of fat tissue that burns energy instead of storing it. You don't need extreme methods to access this effect. Even a short 20 to 30 second cold rinse at the end of a normal shower appears to be enough to activate this response in beginners. Over time, some people gradually increase exposure as tolerance builds. The key is consistency, not intensity. Now, the next method works from the opposite direction. Instead of applying cold stress, it works through controlled eating patterns that give your metabolism structured breaks. And this is where things start to get even more interesting for long-term energy and fat regulation. But before we go there, take a quick second. If this is already making sense, hit the like button so this video can reach more adults over 50 who are trying to understand their body without confusion. And I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Where are you watching from, and how old are you? It really helps build this community inside Gold After 50, and I read as many as I can. Alright, let's move into the second method. Now the second method becomes especially powerful when you understand how your body responds to something very simple: timing. Because research from major metabolic and cellular studies has consistently shown that your body doesn't process food the same way throughout the day. There are internal rhythms, sometimes called circadian metabolic rhythms, that influence how efficiently you burn energy, store fat, and even activate repair systems. In simple terms, your body has high-efficiency hours and low-efficiency hours. And most adults over 50 accidentally eat in a way that works against those natural rhythms. Here at Gold After 50, we've gone through multiple long-term studies on time-restricted eating, and what they suggest is surprisingly consistent. When you give your body a longer break between meals, it shifts into a different internal state where it starts using stored energy more effectively. This is often referred to in research as a metabolic switch, not a magic trick, but a predictable shift in fuel usage from incoming calories to stored reserves. And during this shift, something interesting happens at the cellular level. Your body increases cleanup activity, a process scientists often associate with cellular recycling and repair pathways. This is one of the reasons fasting windows have been linked in studies to improved metabolic flexibility and better long-term energy regulation. But let's make this practical. You don't need extreme fasting. A simple starting point that researchers often use in studies is a 12 to 14-hour overnight break from eating. For example, finishing dinner at 7 p.m. and having your next meal around 9 a.m. the next morning. Footage: older adult kitchen evening dinner, clock time night morning transition, morning tea coffee senior. This gives your body enough uninterrupted time to shift into its natural overnight maintenance mode, where energy is not constantly coming in and internal systems can rebalance. And if you gradually extend that window slightly, for example closer to 14 or 15 hours, some studies suggest more noticeable effects in metabolic markers, especially in adults over 50. But the key point here is not strict fasting. It's consistency and rhythm, because your body responds far more strongly to predictable patterns than to occasional extremes. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is combining this with high-sugar late-night eating, which disrupts that overnight transition and keeps the body in constant processing mode. So the real goal is simple. Give your body a regular, predictable break from food long enough to let it reset its internal energy handling systems. Now, the next method takes things a step further, because instead of focusing on timing, it focuses on how your cells respond to controlled stress signals that come from outside the body. And this one is surprisingly easy to do, but most people underestimate its impact. Now, the third method is where things start to feel a little more surprising, because it works through something most people don't associate with fat loss or cellular repair at all. Cold exposure, not extreme, not painful, not something that requires special equipment, just brief, controlled exposure that sends a strong signal through your nervous system. When your body experiences cold, even for a short period, it activates a stress response pathway designed for survival. Your nervous system releases a surge of signaling chemicals, especially norepinephrine, which plays a role in alertness, circulation, and energy regulation. Research from leading physiology journals has shown that even short daily cold exposure can significantly increase this response. And here's where it becomes interesting for adults over 50. That same stress response doesn't just affect energy in the moment, it also influences how your body manages stored fuel and how efficiently it produces heat. In simple terms, your body begins to shift slightly toward burning stored energy instead of holding on to it. Footage: senior shower, cold water, winter breath, visible air, slow controlled breathing shower. Some studies also suggest that repeated exposure over time may help increase activity in brown fat, a specialized tissue that helps the body generate heat by burning calories. But the key here is not intensity, it's adaptation. You don't need ice baths or extreme routines. In fact, most research protocols start with very small exposures, such as a short cold finish at the end of a normal shower. Even 20 to 60 seconds can be enough to start training the nervous system response. Over time, some people gradually extend this duration as their tolerance improves. And what's important to understand is this: the benefit is not about discomfort. It's about signaling. You are essentially sending your body a message that conditions have changed, and it needs to adapt. Now, the next method works in a very different way because instead of applying external stress, it uses internal stress, specifically how your body reacts when it temporarily runs low on incoming energy. And this next one is one of the most studied metabolic patterns in modern nutrition science.